Caravel. A caravel is a small, highly maneuverable sailing ship developed in the 15th century by the Portuguese to explore. The ship had a large cargo area and used 2 or 3 masts. Age of exploration. Time period in history from 1400 to 1800, when new technology allowed for long sea voyages. Europeans discovered new lands in the Americas, which led to global trade and other changes. Astrolabe. A device used to determine latitude by observing the altitude and position of the sun, useful for ocean navigation. Christopher Columbus. Italian sea captain who sailed for Spain in 1492, sailed west across the Atlantic searching for a sea route to Asia, landed in the Caribbean, beginning the encounter between the peoples of the Western and Eastern hemispheres. Conquistadors. Spanish conquerors that came to the Americas in search of glory, gold and other riches. The encounters. The encounters from 1492 through 1550 brought together 3 worlds placed at the fringes of the Atlantic, the worlds of Europeans, Africans, and people of the Americas. Columbian Exchange. The widespread transfer of animals, plants, culture, human populations, diseases, technology and ideas between the American and Afro-Eurasian hemispheres after Christopher Columbus' 1492 voyage. Hernan Cortes. Spanish conquistador who conquered the Aztecs of Mesoamerica in 1521 with the help of other Native Americans, often compared to Francisco Pizarro who conquered the Inca Empire. Montezuma II. Aztec emperor who ruled at the time of the Spanish conquest, overthrown and killed by Hernan Cortes in 1520. God, glory, and gold. The primary motivating factors of early European exploration. Mercator projection map. Type of map projection introduced in 1569 by Gerardus Mercator, widely used for navigation charts because it enables the navigator to plot a straight line course. Vasco de Gama. Portuguese explorer and merchant, the first European to reach India by sea in 1498. Latin America. A region of the Americas from Mexico, southern South America, including countries where Romance languages are spoken due to colonization, primarily Spanish and Portuguese, but also French. Social class. Refers to a group of people with similar levels of wealth, influence, and status. Plantation. A large piece of land, usually in a tropical area, where one crop is specifically planted for widespread commercial sale. Colony. A territory under the full or partial political control of another country, typically a distant one, and occupied by settlers from that country. Triangular trade. A trading pattern that involved shipping manufactured goods from Europe to West Africa to be exchanged for slaves, which were shipped to the Americas and exchanged for sugar, rum, and natural resources, which were then shipped back to Europe. Transatlantic slave trade. The transportation of enslaved people from Africa to the Americas between the 17th and 19th centuries, carried out by European countries to profit from slave labor on plantations in the Americas. Mercantilism. The economic system used during the 1500 to 1700, intended to increase a nation's wealth through strict government control of the economy. Mother countries in Europe imported raw materials from and exported manufactured goods to their colonies. Middle Passage. The segment of the triangular trade in which enslaved Africans, densely packed onto ships, were forcibly transported from Africa across the Atlantic to the Americas, usually the Caribbean islands or Brazil. Encomienda system. A system of labor created by the Spanish to control American Indian labor during the colonization of the Americas. Spanish landowners received grants of a number of Indians, from whom they could exact tribute in the form of gold or labor. Peninsulars. The highest social class of the early Spanish caste social class system, a wealthy individual born in Spain but residing in the Americas. Creoles. The second highest social class of the early Spanish caste social class system, a wealthy individual born in the Americas with only Spanish ancestry. Mestizos and mulattoes. An intermediate class of the Spanish caste social class system. Mestizos were people born of Spanish and Native American ancestry. Mulattoes were people born of Spanish and African ancestry.